This is the field notes from the proving, short reflections from inside the process of building a life that's earned, not perfected, earned. After the Loudoun County run, I had a choice. I could be smart or I could be me. And unfortunately, I am me. If May was my rebound period, June was my warrior period. By then I was trying to figure out basically if I could run anymore. I wasn't trying to come back from an injury. I wasn't trying to kind of rebuild any confidence. May basically did that. And Disney, if you remember, kind of reminded me why I loved running so much. Mystic reminded me how much fun it could be. And Loudoun County reminded me how hard it could be. But June was different because I wanted Napa. I wanted to absolutely destroy it. Literally not survive it, quite literally destroy it. Because somewhere in the back of my mind, I started believing something that I belonged in the sub 130 club. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon. And I was willing to do whatever it took to get there. But you see, the problem was I only knew one way to basically solve things. And it's the simple two words that have haunted me my entire life. Work harder. When things got difficult, I didn't slow down. I accelerated. If I wasn't where I wanted to be, the answer wasn't patience, that's for sure. The answer was more miles, more workouts, more speed, more recovery, more discipline, more effort, simply more. And that's exactly what I did. I increased mileage, intensified every workout, pushed even harder, ran even further, and ran faster. Everything kind of became focused on one thing, Napa. Looking back, it was probably equal parts discipline and insanity. But at the time, it felt like purpose because every decision I made in June had one objective, was to just be healthy, be competitive, and be ready for Napa in July. But at this point, running wasn't just something I did anymore. It became a project, honestly, a mission. And if I'm being real even honest, kind of an obsession. I was still in physical therapy. I started chiropractic work as well with back decompression, strength training, stretching. I did protein, collagens, multivitamins, recovery, fuelings, bought the Garmin, studied the data. I paid attention to literally everything. Bought race shoes, did the tempo shoes as well, upgraded literally everything across the board. I even bought Saucony Endorphin Pro 4s, the Alpha Flies. I wanted every advantage that I could because if I found that the edge existed, I wanted it. And if there wasn't an edge, I was going to create one. But June honestly wasn't all confidence, not even close, because on June 13th, reality literally punched back. So I was supposed to run 12 miles, just a standard routine long run, nothing special. Instead, my knee was throbbing. I managed 5.4 miles. Literally, that was it. I stopped. And I remember being absolutely devastated, not because of the run, but because of what it represented. It felt like I'd been patient for months, since Shamrock, since March. Everything in life was moving forward. Work was fine, life was fine, but running had become personal. Running was kind of where I tested myself. Running was where I learned who I was. And now the thing I cared for most felt uncertain again. And I remember thinking, not now, not with Napa around the corner, not after everything, just not now. The truth is, I was scared because I had spent months trying to get back, months trying to trust my body again, months trying to convince myself I wasn't broken. And now the knee pain was back. The physical pain wasn't even the hardest part though. It was the fear that maybe I'd done all this work and still wouldn't get the chance to show what I was capable of. I wanted Napa to be that moment. I wanted Napa to be the race where all the patience finally paid off. And for a few days, I genuinely wasn't sure that was going to happen. So I did what I always do. Basically, the best two words in the English dictionary, keep going. Every few days, I did more recovery work, more PT, more stretching, more icing, just more work. And then finally on June 15th, I tried again. I did 12 miles, 1 hour, 35 minutes and 48 seconds, just under an 8-minute pace. And while it wasn't perfect, it was enough to calm me down, enough to remind me that I wasn't broken, enough to believe. I remember finishing that run and thinking, okay, maybe we're still in this. So for the next 2 weeks, I kind of became relentless. I optimized everything. And I say everything, I mean absolutely everything. Icing, stretching, the strength training, more supplements, more protein, going to physical therapy multiple times a week, monitoring the recovery, adjusting my schedule, trying to run when my energy was the highest, trying to recover when my body needed it. I wasn't leaving anything to chance because I knew what was waiting. June 28th. One final test, the final chance to see what I actually had. So on June 28th, it happened. One of the greatest runs of my life. Not the race, not Napa, not an event, not even a half marathon, a training run. A random Saturday in my neighborhood with no crowds, no medals, no spectators, no finish line, just me. I absolutely destroyed it. At 13.14 miles, 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 50 seconds, a 7:08 pace. And during that run, everything changed. I broke my PR for the 5K, my 5-mile PR, my 10K PR, my 10-mile PR, and now my half marathon PR. Oh shit. Amazing. Every distance, one run on one morning with one massive statement. And the splits, let me tell you about the splits. That's the best part. I wasn't hanging on at all. I was accelerating. 7:46, 7:30, 7:25, 7:23, 7:21, 7:13, 7:13, 7:11, 7:06. And then the hammer dropped. 6:47, 6:49, 6:42, 6:21. And then for the final stretch, a 6:30 pace. Every mile got faster, every mile felt stronger, and every mile felt like proof. Proof that the work mattered and proof that the injury hadn't won. And honestly, proof that all the mornings were finally creating something and a place where I truly belonged. And I honestly never felt so alive. And because you would think this was great, explosive run, amazing, right? The problem is I still didn't believe it, which is crazy. I know that. And I remember thinking, what if the app glitched? What if the GPS was wrong? What if it didn't count? Because nobody saw it, right? It wasn't a race. There was no medal. There wasn't no audience, which was all the reasons why I liked it, an hour and a half ago. Because sometimes it's easier to doubt yourself than it is to give yourself credit. But deep down, I did know. The runner knew, my watch knew, my legs knew. And I knew exactly what those final miles felt like. Looking back, this wasn't the run that made me faster. This was the run that changed my mindset. Loudoun County run, that half marathon, taught me humility. June taught me intensity. Because whenever life gets difficult, my instinct isn't to retreat. My instinct is to go to work. Sometimes it's strength, sometimes it's flaw. But in June of 2025, it became fuel. Fuel that carried me through fear, through the doubt, through the injury. And it carried me to one of the greatest runs of my life. And for months, I've been trying to get back from injury, from the Shamrock Marathon, uncertainty, doubt, certainly fear of failure. And on June 28th, after that, I wasn't trying to get back anymore. I was moving forward. The runner in me and the confidence in me was back. And this is when I say the warrior arrived. In reflection, May was the comeback. June was the warrior phase, and July was meant to be proof. Because sometimes confidence doesn't arrive when you basically cross the finish line. Sometimes it arrives on a random Saturday morning with no crowd, no medal, no applause, just you doing the work. And finally seeing what all the work has built. This wasn't Napa. Napa was coming. And after June 28th, I was ready. Literally watch out, the competitor in me arrived. This has been the Field Notes of the Proving, and the work continues.